Hello everyone, this is Aman Jaman from Tech365. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to install and configure OpenWrt on VMware ESXi. So first, I will show how to build a firmware for ESXi and then how to set up it on the VMware ESXi. So first, we're going to download the StarWind software because we needed this one at very first to convert the operating system. From regular image file to VMware based file. So that's why we needed this first. So I will put this link in description and you guys can start with that one. Installing. So once it's installed, then we're gonna start focusing on how to get the OpenWrt and firmware. So you can download OpenWrt if you just type OpenWrt download, then downloads, stable release. Now if we go to the bottom, we can see the latest one is 22033. So this one is pretty much the latest at this time. Now I'm gonna go to targets, and in targets, since we're gonna do it for regular VM, that will be x86, which is the AMD version, then we're gonna go look for like 64-bit version. So here if you click 64-bit, you can see these are the images, so we should look for this one. However, you can start with this one. However, there's an issue here, like this image is very minimal version, so you will not expect any Lucy with this version, so you will miss the web interface. So in such case, you could compile a firmware for yourself. And if you like to know how to compile, there's the second part, second segment of this video, like how I'm gonna do that. So this is also easy. Like here, there's a guide for people. There's already guide, but we're gonna build the firmware using OpenWrt image builder. Like use image builder. So to build an image, first we need to have a server. For this case, we have Linux server. So I already connected using the SSH. So if we like to build, first we need to install this repository and packages first. I already have installed this, so still I'm going to do that. Press Y. Done. So now we are installed all the required packages. Now if we like to build a firmware, then you can follow these guides, which I'll explain. So here in download page of image, you can see image builder. You're gonna just copy the link. Now here in our SSH server, I'm gonna download this one, webgate, enter, and it's downloaded. Now I'm gonna extract that one. So if I like to extract this one, we need to type tar -xf, then the file name ls. We can see the file folder is created here. So let me remove the leftover tar.gz file. Okay, now we are good. So we're gonna open that directory, cd open. Let's clean the screen. So now inside this directory we can type ls to make sure we are in the right directory. Yes, we are. So now we're gonna type make info to see the list of profile we have available in this image builder. So here we are seeing only generic is the profile here, and what are the by default packages if we just use this profile. So here you can see these are the very basic drivers and packages. So we need to install lots of manual packages, like if we need to modify according your need. So here's the default packages, and these are probably drives. So anyway, here I don't see Lucy here, so we need to install Lucy. So if I like to build a package, the first couple of line I need to type, which is like this: make space minus J4 and image, then profile, which is uppercase, equals now the profile name, which is this one. And after that we're gonna just type the packages name. So you need to type packages equal, then in colon you have to type all the packages name. So for my need, I like to install these packages. So you can actually write this down on a notepad before you come here, so that you can easily start the process. So I already wrote it somewhere else, so I'm just copy pasting right from there. Okay, that's a little messy, so let's just copy paste. Okay, here I'm gonna install Lucy and Lucy theme material, and I'm gonna install UPnP package, which is needed for like if you do torrenting or other port forwarding stuff, which require which is required sometimes without port forwarding. And I'm gonna install WireGuard, policy-based routing, then DNS over HTTPS, and I'm gonna use DNS mask full version. And to use full version I need to remove the initial DNS mask, because by default it comes with regular DNS mask. So the package you don't want from the by default, you're gonna just put minus before it, so it will not be installed. And also I don't want that package like Lucy theme bootstrap, but it will install anyway for some reason, I don't know. And I'm gonna install Nano and Telescale, because we had some issue before that. Many of our subscribers was asking for some VPN and V2Ray review and video tutorials. So we are planning to make more video since we have now resources. So we'll probably make some video regarding Telescale and Telescale by network and VPN package bypassing things. So now we're going to compile the package. So once we enter, it's going to start compiling the package. So if you have good amount of resource assigned to your server, it will take only a couple of minutes. So I think something is wrong in here. Okay, there's an extra space. So make sure you must not have any extra space in here. So let's fix this. Building images. It's going to take some time. it's almost done. Meanwhile, we're gonna open WinSCP and connect our SSFTP server. Then we're gonna open OpenWrt folder, then bin targets x86. So let's see if it's done. Okay, it's done. If you see there is no other issue error in here, it should be just giving calculating checksum, and there should be actually confirmation is finalized. So it's actually finalized, but probably I missed a couple of lines maybe. Anyway, let's go and check the folder. Okay, so let's open these lines. Okay, here we can see generic ext4 combined image. So this is what we're actually looking for. However, if you can also use EFI version as well, if in case you use modern technique, but we are not going that advanced because this is more like a easy video so that you can follow, because there's a bunch of video available which is mostly made in Chinese language, so I just like to really make it simple. So let's just copy this one in downloads folder. Now let's open downloads folder, extract the file. So we can see combined image is now 123 megs. So now we're gonna open StarWind converter, Windows. So in StarWind converter, we're gonna select local file, next, then file name. You have to give the path. So let's give the path and look at the file. Okay, press next. Then you can either just upload it to your ESXi server or vCenter server directly using this tool, or you can just convert it on your PC then upload it by manually. So in my case, I will actually like to have it on PC because I'll use it for other purposes as well. Otherwise, you could just click on remote ESXi server or vCenter. So let's go a local file for it. Then we can see VMDK machine disk machine. Virtual VMware virtual machine disk file. So press next. Here you can select whatever you want. Everything is self-explained here. So in my case, I'm gonna use it with ESXi server. So that case, I'll select this one, ESXi image. Press next. It says growable image and it says pre-allocated image. So I'm gonna go with pre-allocated image because the pre-allocated image size will be 122 max as of the size of the machine. So it's not like read-only things. You can definitely able to edit it. So that's why I'm recommending to select this one. We'll explain more in later. Press next and convert, and that's it. Now we're gonna click finish, and now we can see there's a 2 more file added, like VMDK flat file, combined file, and VMDK file. So these 2 files will be needed. So now let's do the server setup part, the VM setup part. So let's go back to our VMware ESXi server. Here in our ESXi server, this is a remote server which we'll use for lab and other testing. So here we're gonna first upload the we're gonna actually set up the networking first, then we'll set up the server and other things. So first let's go to the networking section. So for our OpenWrt, we would be needed internet access and a switch so that the device can get the LAN access out of the OpenWrt router. So to have that, you already, I think, have some kind of WAN or something, so that the OpenWrt can have some internet IP address or some sort of internet. So now we just need to set up a LAN. So here we're gonna go and create some switch so that we can use them. So we already created bunch of switch already, but we're gonna create few more. So let's say add a standard virtual switch. So let's give its name OpenWrt LAN. We don't like to set up any uplink because this is totally virtual. If you are directly like to have connectivity with physical setup of your ESXi host, then you can use uplink. So for our case, we don't need that. And link discovery, fine. Security, you can put everything except and add. So this will be our OpenWrt LAN, and here we already have a WAN switch, which is I think vSwitch 1. So let's go to the ports group. Here we already have public IP address with this port group, which is coming by vSwitch 1. So we now gonna set up a virtual machine. So create a virtual machine, create a new virtual machine, press next. Let's give its name open, let's put everything lowercase, OpenWrt lab US. Now guest OS family should be Linux. Guest OS version, just Linux 64-bit. I think they recently updated the list. So let's see. Okay, other Linux, as you can see, other Linux 64-bit. That's what we're gonna pick. So press next, customize settings. So here we're gonna put 2 CPU, 2 GB RAM, and we're gonna remove the hard disk. We're gonna also remove the USB controller. For network adapter, the first one will be the LAN. So the LAN should be okay. We're gonna just remove all of these things because we're gonna set up it again after deploying the VM. Okay, so we have the VM ready in here, but we need to create a port group first because we forgot to set up the networking segment. So now in port group, let's say OpenWrt LAN, and the switch we configured earlier, which is OpenWrt LAN. Security, everything is inherited from switch. Add. So now this will be the LAN connected with OpenWrt switch. Consider this one as a physical switch, and now this one is a port of that switch. Okay, so now we gonna go storage. We're gonna open the directory. it's gonna take some time probably. Okay, it's open. So here we can see that's the folder of the VM that we created. So if we check that, here we're gonna upload our files that we earlier we created. So first we're gonna upload the small file. Now we're gonna upload the bigger one. Okay, it's done. Now close. So now we're gonna go back to the virtual machine again, and in virtual machine we're gonna edit the machine again. So this time we're gonna add a hard disk, and it's gonna be existing hard disk, and then we're gonna select that VM folder, and we can see the VM hard disk is there. We can just select that, and we're gonna add network adapter, and this time we're gonna select the first one is OpenWrt LAN, and the second one should be our internet. So our internet will be coming through this this port group. And if you like to make any MAC or any other changes, you can adjust it from here. So press save. It's saved. Sometimes it takes time. So once it's saved, you can see the size is showing it here. So now you can see the size is like 120 megs, which is very small in some cases. So now you can edit it. So let's put it GB, and now let's put it 2 GB, and you can save it again and refresh. Couple of times refresh. If you have this server connected with vCenter, it's gonna sometimes take some time. So if I edit again settings, now we can see 2 GB still there, right? So now your server is ready to start. I mean, you can now start. You're able to configure the server right now. So in such case, I would suggest you can clone the server multiple times before you make actual progress in here, so that you can reuse that image multiple times. So let's just start this server first. So here after this line, you can just press enter. You can see OpenWrt. So if you type IPA, you can see the IP address is 192.168.1.1, and there is no Ethernet connection yet. And if you try to ping 111, it will not work because you need to set up the internet. So before I access the server, let's power it off. Here I'm using this Windows VM. So I'm gonna edit this Windows VM and add some network, so that additional network, so that this VM can connect with the OpenWrt LAN as well. I think I need to turn off the server first, then I think I can do that. So let's close everything and restart, shut down the server and update that settings. So we are back. We just had to restart the server because that server we've been recording the video. So if we open and try to edit the server, like edit settings, what we did is we added an additional network adapter with our existing Windows server so that we can configure the OpenWrt network as well without moving anywhere else or doing on the CLI. So it takes a little bit of time sometimes because we connect it through another vCenter server, so it takes some time to sync. So here anyway, so let's just go and open the network settings and advanced network settings and adapter settings. So as you can see, this is the network settings which I'm connected. So that's a public interface for the server that I connected right now, and I'm gonna use that one to connect the OpenWrt server. So let's go in properties and try to edit and make it DHCP. So it's showing identifying. It's not going to identify until we start this server. So let's start the OpenWrt server. So now I think OpenWrt is turned on. So let's check our server interface. It's still identifying, so let's disable and enable it. You can see network 4. So now if I click status details, you can see 192.168.1.192. That's the IP address we got. So we are ready to configure that OpenWrt router. So now if I try to ping internet, it's still no internet. So we're gonna configure the internet first, then we're gonna do the rest of the things. So let's go. Let's close this and let's log out. Let's try to enter 192.168.1.1. So we can see we are in OpenWrt page. Logging. Let's go to the network and interface. Right now the WAN is set as a DHCP, which is not going to work in our case because we have public IP address have to get from our dedicated server provider. So we requested one IP address and we're going to try to configure that, so which will be like a static IP address. So let's go and switch it to static. So here we're going to put our IP address. So I'm going to set the IP address mask. So you need to talk with your ISP if you like to set up with your own internet provider IP address and CID range. Gateway. Here I think I can set up custom DNS server. Use custom DNS server. Let's say 111.120.1. Firewall, everything is alright. I think DHCP server is not needed for this interface. ignore interface. Okay, let's apply, and we have internet. So let's try to open the OpenWrt using SSH 192.168.1.1. Their username is root, and we are on OpenWrt. Now let's ping 111, and you can see we have ping. So now we have internet configured as well. So now we can install anything if we want, like opkg update, and then we can literally install anything right from here, like opkg install lossy app, VMWare maybe. So we need to follow the tutorials if you like to install anything. So let's check some overview in here. The packages that we manually build came with the by default firmware. Like these are the package came with the firmware that we built earlier. UPnP, these are really needed. Save and apply. And here you can also see all the updated package list in here, like software, here. Now if you like to install anything, let's say lossy app, open VPN maybe, here we can install OpenVPN as well. It's done. It's really fast. So I think that's all about today's video. Probably next couple of videos will make some additional setup, like setting up V2Ray, maybe configure some of the OpenWrt packages. So we are expecting to have some more video on this subject, and thanks for supporting us.